They've been a mystery for centuries. Whispers in the dark, lights in the sky. But what happens if the mystery steps out of the shadows and into our world? Tonight, we're asking the question, what if aliens make contact? From the first message to the chaos or unity that could follow. We'll explore how it might change our planet, our future, and even what it means to be human. Buckle up. The future starts now. Welcome to our 5-year anniversary show.
Yeah.
Man, 2020 has been a blur. Got some of the originals, man. We got Joe from UFO Garage. Unfortunately, Ben couldn't make it. We've got Pam and Jess from Bordertown Paranormal, the Bordertown Strange podcast, and
there you go.
And the What If Tomorrow on the Fringe podcast. I mean, these guys are carrying the load. I mean, it's awesome. Even tonight's topic doesn't really fit with preparedness, but we're kind of going back to our roots, man, because when we first started, we kind of did it all. We talked the paranormal, we talked UFOs, we talked preparedness. I mean, we did it all on the show. Then
it's
about
just
a year
one giant
into it
grab bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fun ride. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of friends with podcasts come and go. We've lost some along the way. Good people, man. I mean, it's all these people personally I consider friends, and all of them have been instrumental in us making it 5 years. So what a better show to celebrate our 5 years and talk about UFOs. Oh, we got one more jumping on. There he is. There's Enzo. Finally.
I got it.
Enzo's got the party shirt going on. But yeah, tonight we're going to, it's current. And that's what's crazy about it. I never thought 5 years ago that what we're talking about is current, is a possibility.
It's actually might happen.
Right. And if it hasn't already,
The chances are definitely not zero.
Right. It's all over the news, has been the last few years, and what a better show to have our resident UFO experts, I'll say, with Enzo and Joe. I've seen you guys picking back up more on the garage, Joe, and really enjoying the shows, man. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of you guys, and I'm thankful that we got to meet, and you guys have been, like I said, a huge inspiration for me. But yeah, I mean, what a great topic to jump off 5 years, man. It's pretty awesome.
Well, dude, thanks for having me. This is crazy. I didn't realize that it was like your 5th year party show, dude. That's pretty sweet.
Well, it wasn't planned that way, man. It just happened. We got to talking. I think the last show I was like, man, this is 5 years. Holy cow.
Yeah, right. So why not, dude? That's
right.
That's so epic.
Exactly.
It's crazy that it's been that long, man. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in 5 years, so it's nice to see that we're all still kind of around, kicking it and doing our thing, man.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Ben and you, with your movie, Experiencer.
Yep.
I've seen a little bit of it. I haven't watched the entire thing. Really, really good. What are you guys' plans for that before we jump into the topic tonight?
So this has been a mountain of a project just to climb, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of little things, a lot of people interested, and a lot of people really liked it. But I think at the end of the day, I think we're going to self-distribute it, cool. So we can keep it close, to us, make sure it stays in the right hands, make sure the people that are, involved are taken care of, and we're going to do self-distribution. So, man, our accounts and everything are already made. So now we're just in the process of just that last little bit of like adding subtitles and making sure all of our stuff is all our eggs are in the right basket. And we're about a month away, probably, I would say, from it being hopefully available. Once we submit it, then we have to wait for certain platforms to then pick it up, but man, it's been a heck of a journey doing that thing. It got close to like, is this even happening anymore? To finishing it, man. And this is probably one of the coolest things that I've been a part of. And dude, I'm so proud of it. I couldn't, easily pole vaulted my expectations. Something that started out with an iPhone and like, hey, can we just get some audio of you and your story developed into this massive production, just done by three guys, Eric Mitchell, and then Ben on the back end, just being the workhorse, getting that editing and stuff done. Going from none of us have ever done or made a movie or even know how to make a movie to we're about a month away from showing the movie to everybody.
That's awesome.
I'm over the moon excited about it.
So I will be lining up for it.
Yeah.
You guys premiered it at Contact, right?
We
Contact
did.
in the Desert.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
did.
I follow you guys on social, and I've seen you guys kind of talk about it a little bit. I mean, obviously, you didn't show the whole movie there.
Yeah. So we got to premiere it at Contact in the Desert. That was like that was super fun. We had never been to Contact before. Oh, I'm actually wearing the shirt.
Oh, awesome.
We got our names. We made it on the back of the shirt. We had never been to that. That was an amazing experience. Hopefully we'll get to go back again. I mean, we got to, meet so many really awesome people. I mean, Clyde Lewis is like, my radio hero. So I got to meet him and talk to him and just get to, pick his brain a little bit. But getting to show the film and just seeing the positive reaction that we got from the crowd. I mean, it was one of those things where, we were going to play it. We weren't sure how people were going to feel about it, but to get like audible, like gasps and like laughter and like people whispering, like in certain parts, it lets you know that like, damn, I think we kind of hit the nail on the head with this one. So that was super exciting. And not to mention our movie that we premiered was bumped up right next to Chris Bledsoe calling in UFOs outside. So we had some competition, going at the same time. So for us to fill it, maybe like 150 people in there, so it wasn't a bad turnout at all. Very, very pleased. Very pleased. And I'm excited for all you guys to see it when it comes out for sure.
That's awesome.
That's the one biggest thing that I'm sad that I missed by not going last year.
Right. Yeah.
Well, this year.
There was a lot of cool stuff, man. It was cool. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you guys and your success. You guys have really, busted your humps. Man, you guys worked hard on it and traveled all over the nation. Like you said, just three guys, man. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And anyway, you're talking about, Contact, and it's been my experience, with the Paracon that Bordertown puts on. It's not just a ghost hunting thing; it's a whole paranormal thing. You guys have your Paracon coming up at the end of next month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But man, the people that attend these things, everybody, the people from the outside are like, oh, these guys are just nuts. These guys, they're loons or whatever you want to call it, but they're the best people to talk to. They've all experienced something, or everybody has a story. Not only do they want to learn, but they've got a story to go with it. And it's opened their curiosity. At least that's my experience, and I hope you guys can agree with that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I always love the ones that say, "Well, I don't believe in this, but this happened to me when I was 10."
Right?
Is that anything? Oh, yeah, kind of sounds like it.
Oh yeah.
And then they're walking away from the festival with like books and like all kinds of trinkets and like necklaces and stuff.
It's the best.
Books.
Yeah.
Joe, you guys
They're
gotta
my
come up.
bane.
That's my favorite part about
I'm alive.
Ooh, interrupt. The
I'm a
director
little one.
Yeah,
has
the
some
boss
words.
is talking here.
But that's my favorite part about like the Paracon or going to Contact is just talking to all the people that came to see, whatever mystery it is that they want an answer to, is chatting with them. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I don't remember, Mark, was it? I think it was the first year you guys were at the community center there. And that guy comes up to me and you, because we had our table set up. We're waiting for the breaks and stuff to record stories and whatnot. And man, I don't remember the guy's name, but man, he was freaked out. He's like, man, the government's after me. He talked about what he saw, and this felt like acid or something coming down on him. His skin was burning and all this. And he's like, man, it's got to be the government. They're after me, so I can't really share it and all that. I was kind of weirded out. It wasn't that I didn't believe him, but it was like, man, is this for real? Are we getting into something that we're not ready for?
Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
And I'm sure you remember who I'm talking about, Mark, because he didn't even stick around at Paracon very long.
No, he was only there for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know I'm talking about, Pam and Jess.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
He's from
But
I don't
Iro
remember
area.
either.
That's all I remember.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, he was in sunglasses. Like, I mean, it was just I was
Incognito?
Like, man, is this
Yeah, he had the
Yeah.
whole hat down. And,
hat down
He
low,
was-
sunglasses on?
oh, that's why my
Wow.
head's so shiny. I forgot to put my hat on. Everybody can just enjoy the glow.
The
But
star that
anyway,
you are.
Thought it was
Well, we'll jump
your own
off.
3-eye atlas coming in.
man, and that's the perfect segue, Enzo. With 3-Eye Atlas, and that's why I'm like, this is like perfect timing for this episode. With this 3-Eye Atlas information coming out, they're saying the first started saying it was going to be December, but apparently it sped up. I haven't followed it that close, but they're saying it sped up, and now it's going to be near in November. I want to say first
Yeah,
part of November.
that's what I heard.
But Professor Avi Leb, or Avi Leb, I think that's
Loeb.
Avi Loeb?
Loeb. Yeah, there we go. He's saying, from what my understanding, he said there's something like a 2% chance that this is a comet. So we're looking at a 98% chance this is otherworldly, or
Yeah, it's not
extraterrestrial.
exactly acting like a comet.
Right. You wanna
It's a
expound
pretty
on
low chance considering all the other stuff that they say. It's just a comet.
that? Right.
I'm 100% sure. Change your tune.
100% sure it's 2%. Yeah.
Well, even if it's a 2% chance it's an alien vehicle, that's not zero.
It's better than the 1% they've been giving us.
Yeah.
That 1% is probably this is 2%. So something's happening.
Yeah, and they said it sped up. And I'm not a physicist. I don't claim to have any really knowledge about movement of things in space, but what's out there? I mean, is it a gravity well? Is it something like that that's going to pull it faster? Or, I mean, the thing's moving at 100 and some thousand kilometers an hour or something. I mean, it's
It's the
I can't
fastest
fathom
thing
it.
ever tracked in our solar system.
right. And they're saying something along the lines of this is the third extra solar system
Yep.
object or something coming through. You had a Oumuamua, and I guess I didn't hear about the last one. Or
The
whatever.
second one didn't get a lot of play because it did act like a regular comet. It had a very short tail. The angles that it came in and the orbit that it had where it swung around, because of the angle it started off with when they first saw it, that's why they mostly believe, yeah, this probably came from outside the solar system versus one of our regular local solar system comets.
60 kilometers a second is its current speed.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Pretty quick. That's moving.
Yep.
I'm curious if he had they obviously have to be a little careful with what they say, but the fact that he was kind of the name and face for like the first one and then the second one, and then here's this thing, that they're tracking. And it's like, oh, Avi Loeb. It's kind of like on one side, you're kind of like, oh, it's just crazy Avi. But then on the other hand, you're like, well, how come this dude's the only one that's like tracking these things and like being the face of like the possible like contact? You know, that's
Right.
that's strange. Is he the only guy looking at this, or is like who else is back there on that team that's been keeping their eyes out, and maybe he's just like the spokesman for it.
Right.
Not saying he doesn't do any work, but he obviously does a lot of great research and work. But it's crazy that like he's the one that is being stuck with this thing approaching Earth. And the first time around, it was like, well, it could have been a spaceship. It acted weird. It did speed up. It did change directions like mid-flight. It was like really weird. But there were things about it that acted normal, So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
If it happens, crazy. That's crazy. That will literally be the biggest thing to ever happen to us, right?
Oh yeah.
if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to lose any sleep, right?
Right. You still got to get up in the morning and pay the bills and everything else. But
Yeah,
the big tell on it is going to be when it approaches the sun, where the sun, it's rolling in towards its own gravity well, and it kind of makes that arc where it kind of spins around the sun. It depends on the direction that it goes. They've already plotted out for its size and its mass of what they believe it to be, and the rate of speed that it's moving. It should approximately, vector out, that direction, and eventually meet up with Jupiter on its way out of the solar system. Which there's, I guess, a plan in place to take the Juno probe that's around Jupiter now, and slingshotting it out to maybe do close encounters, so to speak, with it as it's on its way out. But if it is an artificial something, and they're here to see us, or they're here to see, because it's actually going to be passing very close to Mars too on its way in before it hits the sun.
Getting ready to say, did you see how close it's going to come to Mars? It
very,
looks
very
like
close.
It could clip it.
Yeah. I don't. It's not quite that close, but when you're just looking at it like a line on a chart, it does look pretty close. There's still plenty of miles there, but it's assume because we have so many tall tales that we've heard over the years about our origin as a species. Did we start on Mars and then we moved to Earth because there was a catastrophe or a war or a disaster or whatever? And this thing's flying like very close to Mars, and what if it's like a probe checking up on the old neighbors? It's like, oh my God, they're all gone. Where did they go? Wait a minute. Oh, they're on that one that we're on the opposite side of the sun from their closest approach. We're gonna have to pull over. We're gonna have to make a braking maneuver or something like that. And that's the thing is, its closest approach to us, which will be the end of October, the Halloween whatever it is, War of the Worlds, is we're not going to see it because it's on the opposite side of the sun. If it's going to do something crazy, we're not going to know until it's already swung around the sun and is heading straight for us, or it's just on its normal way out of the solar system like they predict it to be.
Yeah. It'd be a strange thing if they're flying by Mars, like you were saying, checking to see what's up with the neighbors. And, it'd be one thing, and hopefully, be crazy. They fly by and check and make sure the neighbors aren't there anymore. That would be an interesting
Could be it too.
thing to happen. Like, whoa, those guys were crazy. Good thing they're not there anymore.
Wait a minute, they just moved to the other planet next door. Oh crap!
Right.
Now there's how many billion of them? Lock the doors, don't stop.
Yeah.
Roll the windows up, lock the doors, just keep going.
Bigger planet.
There's all sorts of theories and things like this. And, there's some people saying, well, it might be the Anunnaki coming back, or I mean, who knows? I mean, the likelihood of it just being a comet, probably likely. But as the name of the show, what if? So let's war game this. What if they? what if they catch a transmission or something like that? Should we respond? Should we stay quiet? Well, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's no way we can stay quiet because they've already heard us.
Yeah, we've been making noise for a long time,
Mhm.
so they know that we're here if they're here looking for us, kind of a thing. So it's a matter of, we know you're home and we're knocking on the door. If you choose not to answer, then you're just being a jerk,
Right.
kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah, like I wonder what we'll never know, but I wonder what the government protocol is, because that they've talked about this specific scenario.
There is. They have stuff for everything, for asteroid strikes, volcanoes blowing
Zombies.
up.
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse that was a kind of a play thing because of zombies thing, unless you believe in magic. But then you have, because I've seen some of them, because there are people in the Pentagon, they war game every possibility of every possible permutation of every crazy thing that you could think of.
Yeah.
Or, some cosmic event where all the satellites fall down out of the atmosphere at the same time, and how to shield yourself from that, all the way up to the sun going supernova, how to deal with that, which, there's nothing you can do. Hide the hole in the ground.
Just wave goodbye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's like, what are they going to do?
Sit up on the roof of the bottle like, oh, here we go.
That's going to be the answer. It's like, what are they going to all right, let's when they show up, we're gonna have to go up there, we're gonna have to intercept them, we're gonna have to stop it, we're gonna have to make sure that they follow the protocol. That would be something that you're running in a war game, but then at the same time you're like, dude, how, I don't know, I don't even think what kind of control do they think they have, or should we assume that they're going to have? I don't think much. When it comes down to, we've all heard the stories, the bodies can be fragile, some of these things, that possibly can crash. Sure, maybe there's some weaknesses in there, but to just stop them completely from coming here and doing whatever they want to, I don't think so. You might be able to get rid of a couple of them. That is if they're hostile, right? But we don't even know if they're hostile. But then you run into the situation of well, what if they're not hostile? They get here, somebody fires a rocket, and now they are hostile.
Right.
Have you seen the Middle East lately? That's very likely.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, only one person needs to come back to that place, and we can wait on that. He's the only one that can fix it, anyways.
That's right.
But our alien brothers and sisters, I hope. I don't know.
Yeah. And honestly, that the religious side of certain cultures, all of them really, where you've got somebody showing up from somewhere else, very far away. It's like, well, they have to start asking questions, uncomfortable questions of their own religions. So did God make them too? Who are they? How come they're not mentioned in any of our holy scripts and things like that? What's their part in all of this?
Yeah. Well, the church doesn't officially have dogma or writing about it. There is talk. There's a lot of questions. There's just the church takes such a long time to finally put something in writing and put it on paper. If it's not really a thing, they may not even talk about it. So there is no specific teachings or writings on it. They could, just as easily in the church's eyes, their view is they could easily just be, brothers in Christ just as much as they could be demonic figures.
The Pope said that they would allow them to get baptisms.
Yep. Because we just don't know, And I for one would be very curious, hey, do we have brothers in space? Is something that happened here, that story that the biblical history, is there something like that could possibly take place on other planets. You know, just like it's almost like a fractal event. You know,
Right.
all the way out to the beginning of history, and it's almost like a repetition of like this story that's happening through time. It'd be pretty interesting to find out. I'd love to. I'd love to know. I'd love to meet one. You know, and ask them
Yep.
questions.
Yep. See, and that's another, we're talking religion. Yeah, I mean, there'd be a lot of questions, but you see
A lot of people would just lose their minds. Oh, it's demons.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And you see a
default
lot
if
of
you're in the
that.
Pentagon. Everybody's a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all in the occult. So what do we expect from them?
Right. Right. And that's
Yeah.
true too.
Right.
There's a lot
See,
of that going around too.
And but you see that. I mean, you see a lot of people. I'm a Christian. I don't know what to believe in that aspect. It's kind of like what we're talking, but you see a lot of people go straight to no, it's demonic, automatically. And how do you know? I mean, like you say, there's hey Sylvian. But how do you know? Because there's nothing in Scripture about that I know of.
Yeah.
So
No.
I don't know.
No, not necessarily. I mean, you can look outside of Scripture. It kind of depends on how far outside you're comfortable with going. Like say we want to talk about like the Book of Enoch, right?
Right.
I really only kind of look at the first one, right? It's the only one that was written pre-Christ, old, real
Yep.
old stories. I mean, it just that's kind of really the only one that I look into, but when you go in and you read things like that, that's such an interesting book because it really kind of like ties in some of those missing pieces that we have just like within the regular Bible. And it talks about how, the demons, walking on earth are these disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. So if we're looking at the Nephilim and, where they're coming from, and then we understand that the demons walking here on earth today are the disembodied spirits of them, then we know that we can categorize demons into a certain category. We can categorize these demons because we understand specifically where it is that they're coming from, right? It's not just some made up spirit that's just coming in and out of existence. I mean, these things are here. They were killed, and now they roam the earth as these disembodied spirits, and they crave, all the attention, the bodily functions that like you want, to be thirsty, to be hungry, the sexual appetites. These things, they crave that, and they can't have it, these demons. And so that's why they possess you as a human, so they can fulfill these needs that they want. They're not always good, but we can categorize that out. Well, here are the angels, right? Or here are the demons, and where did these things come from? Well, here is the Elohim. We're talking about the Old Testament stuff. Like, what is the Elohim? Well, we know that there are the Yahweh can be the Elohim, but the Elohim cannot be Yahweh, right? It's a difference because he creates all of these things. And we interpret them as gods, the Elohim, but there's only one, right? The Yahweh. And so you can kind of like, just looking outside and, like I said, whatever you prescribe to, there are answers. There are answers, and it is easier to break it down and categorize it. That way you can keep your mind from being like, unfortunately, this is the name of the show, but instead of just being like, well, what if, you can have a little more confidence kind of in like how you're feeling about that. So now you can take these, this discussion that we're having about aliens and say, well, that doesn't match the description of what I know and where I know that these things have come from, or where they're said to have come from,
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, and look, we've got a whole lot of different point of reference. We have space flight. We know that it's possible to go to other worlds. But you consider the moon is basically a world. It's as big as some planets we've seen. So I think a lot of the disconnect here is frame of reference. you know, heck, for all we know, they could look like elves.
Could be.
You know,
Always have.
You know, Stephen Hawking. I mean, I mean, the guy was super smart. That's about how much stock I put into him. I mean, he was a brilliant physicist. You know, but he says that if there are civilizations out there, you know, that they'd automatically be violent, you know, or aggressive. I don't know. You know, I mean, I think it's a 50-50 shot either way, my opinion.
Sure. It's I feel like that kind of thing that's a very human centric kind of thing. It's like, oh, they're coming here to steal our resources and steal our DNA or all this, or stealing, you know, something from it. They're taking something. We have something they want, and they're going to take it, kind of a thing. That's what humans do. If we're truly talking about, you know, beings from an entirely different planet, entirely different biosphere, entirely different thought process about how to go about things, maybe their own separate religion that's very different from any of ours, all of these things, you kind of have to boil it down to just meeting a total stranger in the street. They might be good, they might be bad, they might be indifferent if you walk up and try and talk to them.
well, and if you're going to go by that analogy, most people you walk up to in the street fall in the indifferent category. So,
Right.
what about the galactic neighborhood? Some of them probably, you know what? There probably have been aliens that's just gone right on through the system, like, yeah, I don't
Whatever.
care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to answer one of these questions
Hey, go for it.
from the chat real quick, and it was just about the disembodied spirits things, and it's Enoch 15, the intercession of Azazel and the fallen ones, in verses 8 and 9. It says, "And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from the bodies, because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called." So that's just like one, you know, obviously you can interpret it however you'd like to interpret it, but when we're like talking about like what it is and how, like, basically like where I got that from, I'm just referencing back from this stuff that I read. So like, yeah, there you go.
Cows come
Yep.
out.
Classic Far Side, I think.
And why not?
Yeah.
Why not? They could look like anything. They
Yeah.
They could look like the giant flying spaghetti monster for all we know. For those,
That's always been my issue with you know, the popularized, you know, your Greys and your Nordics and tall whites and all these other entities that we hear about. It's like they look an awful lot like us for being from a totally different biosphere, totally different gravity and sun and everything else.
They could be tripedal, they could be quadrupeds, hexapods. You don't
you look
have
like an
any idea.
octopus.
Well,
I'll be
you know,
honest with you.
there
I
is an
hope you look like that.
there is an argument that octopi are not really evolved from our biosphere.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Being this is a preparedness show, I mean, that's strictly what we talk about here. I want to tie this in. Is it worth preparing for an outcome like this? Say they make contact and we make contact back. I mean, is it worth being prepared? Is it, my thoughts, I mean, you stock up on your basic necessities because I believe there's going to be a panic with some people. Other people, Enzo, you talked about people being indifferent, or Mark, you talk about people being indifferent. I think with the, the current news over the last couple of years, with what our friend Gary Voorhees was involved with, You know, the Nimitz encounter, all the way up to UAPs, UFOs, whatever. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, we know."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I really truly believe that, but I think, like I said, the other half is going to be in a panic, or no, what are we, the world's ending and this and that, and you already see some of that. You know, people talking about kind of taking it back a little bit back to religion. You know, the Book of Revelation and all that. You know, well, this is signs of the times and this and that. I don't know if it is. I mean, I'm pretty studied on Revelation, and I don't remember Revelation talking about aliens. You know, but
I just hope we
I
get the
think
day off.
right, right.
It's visitor day.
Yeah.
Everybody take the day off and panic in your own home. Don't
Well-
don't go out and wreck stuff and
Yeah, stay
steal
home.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
I mean, I know where Mark and I work. They're going to expect us to be at work. So.
That's the thing is for a lot of people, you know, it would be just a blurb that they would see online or maybe the afternoon news where aliens were discovered and they look like this and they're visiting and they're saying hi or we're going to kill you.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
And-
Let's go to work.
Yeah, it's like I still got to get up in the morning and go check, you know, punch in on the time clock.
It's
I
gonna
think
be interesting.
we're getting. Sorry, go ahead.
But I was gonna say it's gonna be interesting to see like kids who are, you know, like my kids' age, you know, like our kids' age, you know, like younger, 5, starting to kind of understand the concept of reality and like everything around you. And like if it were to happen and there was some sort of like Arthur C. Clarke's like Childhood's End type scenario where they just kind of sit there and hang out, it's like these kids, like they're gonna grow up with that and it's gonna be like totally normal, and it's gonna be such a quick transition for so many people. It's crazy because we spent our entire lives being made fun of for the topic, and then within 10 years now we're gonna have kids that are just like, oh yeah, there's spaceships up there, they live here, like we don't know, you know, like who knows. It's gonna be crazy to see that happen.
To be fair, they stayed in those ships for a long time for a good reason because of what they actually looked like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
not to spoil the like 50-year-old
Right.
novel, but it's their appearance is why they kind of hung out inside and just these giant ships hovering over major cities, and they sat there. It was like 100 years or something like
Yeah,
that. Right?
100 years. Yep. It was a great move on their part. You know?
You know, I mean, I really think, you know, even us, we all kind of grew up with this in the zeitgeist, you know, with UFOs and all that, you know, from Roswell up. You know, we're hearing stories and the closer we get, and I think we're close to some kind of disclosure. I think we've already had a soft disclosure, in my opinion. Even if, you know, this thing coming at us, it was a 3-eye atlas or whatever, with
Yeah.
it coming at us, even if it's not a UFO but we've had enough confirmation over the recent years that there's something there, whether it be ours, you know, some, you know, advanced technology that the general population isn't educated on, or if it is something otherworldly. I think with us growing up, you know, we're the generation, you know, and as much as I hate to say it, you know, our parents, they grew up with it in just science fiction. I think that's where the biggest paradigm shift will come from. I think, like I said, with people in our generations, you know, the Generation X up, you know, I think we're going to be like, we know. We've known about it for
and we've
years.
learned to be more open about stuff too.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
yeah, I don't care what you think. I mean, I think this, and I'm probably wrong, but you know, keep an open mind.
Right. Right, and I really think, you know, with especially with Border Town, you know, I mean, with the reach that you guys have and the different fields of, I guess you could say, study that you guys have. You have the ghosts, you know, the ghost hunters. You have the Bigfoot hunters. You have the UFO guys. all that. I mean, you guys have, like you said, it's all connected.
Yeah.
And I truly believe it is in one way or another.
Mhm.
I've always wondered about how there's, in recent years, basically when the New York Times 2017 Tic Tac article came out, that it's been like a hardcore press on government disclosure and, people coming out and just this explosion of people talk about that topic and interest in it to the point where we have literal congressional hearings on the stuff.
Yeah.
Why that push all of a sudden right now? It's why did this suddenly just pop up, several years ago and all that? The idea being that a lot of people think is maybe we got that signal that we're coming, we're on the way. So the government's interpretation of that would be, okay, slow release of, slow drips of information until they actually get here so that when they do show up in our skies, people aren't freaked out or surprised.
I almost kind of think too, like maybe everything that they're talking about right now and like all the stuff that's being observed in the sky, like I almost feel like too, like that stuff's been happening all along. They've just never had an outlet. Like it's just been happening this whole time. Since we've been looking, it's been happening. And almost like maybe there's like some sort of like for them to unroll some new technology and like a technological revolution to like take that new step. It's going to be like the next biggest step in humanity. But in order to roll that out, we have to start talking about stuff like this, because when they roll that out, everybody's going to be like, what? Like your paradigm shift, like your idea of reality, whatever it is that they want to use is going to be so crazy that would almost mess up the minds of like the people of the world than just like, just seeing some aliens,
Yeah.
Like I feel like that there's something that they want to play with or like let the world see finally, take it out of, under the big cover. They want to play with it. So it's like, in order to play with this, we gotta start talking about things like this. So let's take it serious. Sorry, I have French fries. Sorry.
No, you
Take
good.
it serious.
I don't have French fries. I'm a little jealous.
No. That's why those aliens are coming to get our French fry.
Dude, you're eating all day.
At least they have good taste.
Yeah, for sure.
Look out, they
We
rolled
are-
out, like the drones and stuff. That was such a big deal starting, what was that, back in like December? And it just kept going and going. And everybody's kind of become, I don't want to say immune to it, but kind of immune to it. They're
Right.
still there. They're not being reported on like they were, but they're still there.
I think
Well, the news cycle is so short, and I think that's a planned release because people's attention span in general is so small. It's
Yeah.
on to the next. What's next? What's next?
that's why
What's next?
TikTok's gotten so big, is because nobody has the attention span to watch a 30-minute show or an hour show anymore.
Right.
Speaking of like the slow release drip to all of us, what do you all think of that theory that come November the government's gonna like drop the bomb on us, but it's gonna be all fake, that they're using Elon Starlink and stuff to produce a fake hologram in the sky?
I've heard that.
Project Bluebeam.
Have you heard that?
Yeah,
Basically, it's
Bluebeam
like
is
a
always
mix of
out
that.
Yeah.
So they're like hitting it like hardcore right now. Like my feed is half full of the watch out for November people.
Right, because that's when Three Eye Atlas is going to be at its closest approach, which mysteriously will be behind the sun, where we can't actually see it until it pops out the other side. And that would be it. And believe me, my feed has been full of that same ridiculous clickbait of taking Avi Loeb, what he had to say about it, and totally out of context. Aliens are coming to take our stuff, whatever it is. Believe
They
me,
don't want our
they
stuff.
have, if they have the technology to get here from another star system, there's nothing that we have that they necessarily need. About the only thing that we would have, because in our own solar system that we know of, there are mountain-sized asteroids in the asteroid belt of gold and platinum and anything else. You go outside
Palladium,
of
uranium.
Yeah, it's because there was a planet that was sort of formed there, but because of Jupiter's gravity is so immense, it just kind of pulled it apart between, hovering there and Mars. And every pass it would get, it would rip apart a little bit more. And now it's just spread out in a big circle there. So we have the innards of a previously formed planet that, we don't have to mine deep into the core of the Earth. It's there. We just have to figure out a cheap and easy way to go out there and get it.
And we've been working on that. I mean, once you figure out how to make money with something, an industry really starts to develop. And we've been seeing that in the last 10, 20 years, where industry has come and started to fill the gaps. They're actually flying cheaper and safer than most governments.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
by the time my kids are my age, we will probably be mining the moon and the asteroids.
It's possible. I agree with Jerry Carter in the chat as well. Project Bluebeam, the very old plane we caught on to.
It's been around for a long time. That's why it's one of those,
I agree.
everybody, that's like the first thing everybody goes for alien conspiracy stuff is Bluebeam. It's like, that's why they would never go for it, because everybody already is expecting it. Kind of a thing now.
But it is like a really crazy, like if you're kind of like new, or you're like jumping into it and you start digging into the weeds and you're like Bluebeam, you're like, yeah, that's pretty crazy and very it's also at the same time though it's very plausible that they could do that. Very easy. But I think personally they've advanced past the Bluebeam thing. To us, though, it's still very like, that's top of the line technology. But I think if they're going to do something, it's
in the 70s or 80s maybe, but today, nah.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as to circle back to why they're coming, like we talked in the chat, Jerry Carter was talking about that great TV show from the 80s. Their big thing is they were coming here to steal our water. The fact is there's like moon-sized chunks of water ice all around like the outside part of our solar system, down out in the Kuiper Belt and stuff like that. That's where comets, they get perturbed every once in a while for various reasons and kind of dive into the middle of the solar system. And as they're getting close to the sun and heat up, they all start melting off. So all these gases and water and everything else just start, and they make those gigantic tails that we see from the comet. So again, if you have that technology to get here from a different star system, a nearby, even the next closest stars that form,
you could easily mine the Kuiper Belt.
You don't need our isotech, but what we do have that might be unique to them is our biology, because we are a different planet with a different biosphere and under a different sun from what they're used to or whatever, where just how biology has evolved over the years, that would be unique to them. So
I was going to say they're definitely here for our nudes, for sure.
Yes. Well, we've already sent them out. We sent them out on the Voyager and Pioneer probes. Yeah. We're sending out those 3 nudes.
I'm gonna go to that planet. What's that movie? Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's an old movie with. Yeah. That's why they're here.
That's funny.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that was kind of a perfect segue. I mean, with Jess's question, because that's where I was going next with Bluebeam. But I want to let's talk about they've made contact, this and that, right? What do you think it's going to do to the markets or the supply chains? If this comes out, they've made contact, our governments or whoever, is in contact with, and they're talking things. What are your thoughts on what it would do for the markets? Would the market crash? Would the supply chains crash?
The markets and supply chains, we learned just recently, were turned upside down because of a really bad flu that went around the entire planet. If you're going to start describing, aliens coming from a different star system, it's going to be worse than that, I would imagine.
Yep. So stock up on your toilet paper now.
That's right. They're here for your toilet paper. Guard it with your life.
Kleenex.
Yeah. Damn, that was actually a really good episode.
It was, wasn't it?
That was. Yeah, I love old Twilight Zones.
Great episode.
It's a cookbook. It's a cookbook.
Yeah,
You know, if something were to happen, like market-wise, it kind of makes me wonder, like maybe, like the plug may just be completely pulled on that whole thing. You know, like that would almost be something that would make the people in charge say, all right, enough with the games, pull the plug on this market thing. We run the world already. Like, we don't need this facade anymore, because now we have an outside threat, coming here. Like, it doesn't matter. We are now,
well, if it's confirmed to be an outside threat, the market's not going to matter anyway. It's because we're all going to get,
it's not going to,
disintegrated or whatever. But however, if they come in and it's like, hey, Earth dudes, we've been watching your I Love Lucy for generations now, because that's just hitting our star system kind of thing. So we would love to meet Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz and that Kirk guy. But anyways,
that's secretly the reason we haven't been invaded. They've been watching old episodes of Star Trek and going,
it's like, I don't know where you're getting this guy from, but I'm not messing with these dudes. Look at them.
Until they get to episodes of Jersey Shore and stuff like that, they're going to nuke our planet immediately.
As they're getting closer, they're getting the more recent programming.
Yeah.
Nuke it from orbit.
Like the Kardashians? Were we really watching this?
Right.
Oh, no.
Wait, wasn't that a guy last episode?
Oh my gosh, they're hermaphrodites.
Didn't he get a gold medal in the Olympics?
He just gets to run over ladies in parking lots and get away with it. All right, this is kind of cool.
Buckaroos. Yeah, it's. But if they get close enough and they start, chit chatting and stuff like that, it's like, oh, you guys need stuff to get rid of your pollution? We got something that'll help you out with. Which of your companies can we give the schematics to? Oh, Boeing. Okay, here you go, Boeing. Boeing's price is going to go
Boeing.
through the roof.
Boeing. They've had too many problems.
Well, that was just an example.
I know. I'm digging here. No, I get what you're saying.
Brings us to a good point, though. The likelihood of our distribution system and everything going FUBAR is high, at least for a little while. So we'll get into the preparedness that way.
Yeah.
Have your supplies at home that you're going to need in case the supply chain collapses, because even if it's a benevolent visitation, the supply lines are going to go bad. Sorry, words are hard.
It doesn't take much for them to go bad. So if you have something like that happen.
The last few years, we've learned how delicate that system can be.
So, I mean, do prepare. Do stock up on water. Do stock up on food. Make sure you've got all your medications. Take care of all those boxes that you would check for a volcano or for a hurricane or for an ice storm. Do check all those boxes, because if the supply chain goes down, even temporarily, it's going to be more than a huge inconvenience if you're not prepared.
Jerry makes a good point. He says, God forbid Voyager crafts don't accidentally slam into an alien ship and be misinterpreted as an attack.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's for
He's
sure.
not wrong.
Could you imagine what all the space junk that is surrounding the Earth right now anyway would look like to someone trying to...
Oh my God, it's minefield.
Be like going in the hood with all the crap in the yard,
That's why they're here. They're like, we're with the regional local group homeowners association. We're finding you for all
we're
the
with the
trash
Milky Way
that you have around your yard. Yeah.
We're here to gentrify planet Earth. We're putting an Aldi in your neighborhood.
We already have
No.
Starbucks. We don't need that.
Dude, yeah, it would even be crazy to think too, like, you know, what if it's actually like pretty easy? Like, I mean, what if they came down here and the whole world was like, whoa, a UFO just showed up and it landed on planet Earth, and then, you know, it was actually kind of chill, and they were like, hey, no, we're just here to kind of check some things out. If a few of you want to come with us, by all means. And then a few of us go with them, and then they leave, and we don't hear back from any of them for another 12,000 years. And 12,000 years from now, there's going to be some guy sitting there telling a story about these people that came from the sky and just greeted us and showed us a couple cool things, and we all think that guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and who's to say that it hasn't happened?
Yeah.
There's
Look-
stories
yeah.
kind of like that now.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at all this archaeological data that says we may have been visited.
Right.
So this could be the follow-up. Oh, well, our traders thought we were going to buy all this cocoa and rubber and stuff from you guys, but you destroyed the ecology, so now there's nothing for us to buy.
Right. Like, we assume that if they come, something big is going to happen. But, like, what if it's just not like that? Like, what if they just show up every now and again and then leave, you know? That's just what they do. Yeah, we've been here before, but just kind of stop
be
it
like-
by. See
It'd
what's
be
going
like
on.
your local trade caravan stopping by. Oh, we're going to load up on fresh water and food and trade trinkets with the natives and go on our merry way.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're done. Yeah.
Bye. See you in 10,000 years.
You know, I mean, we've talked about, you know, if they're a threat a little bit, you know, I mean, or we've talked about if they're benevolent, but let's talk about if they're a threat. I mean, personally, I don't know. With something that advanced, I don't know that there's anything that we could really do about it.
No, we're screwed.
Um,
Totally.
you know, I mean, obviously we'd prefer them to be more benevolent, you know, and share their technology, because the tech industry right now is booming, but, you know, especially with AI coming on board and all this. But even then, with them, you know, if they're making a trip from wherever they're coming, you know, light years away, our AI is nothing.
I
You know,
I
I
kind of
mean,
have
it's
the
just-
feeling that we are probably like to any intelligence out there, because they're going to be more advanced than we are, obviously, if they're
Yeah.
already traveling interstellar. So I just kind of feel like they look at us like the tribes in the Amazon, you know, that come out and throw spears at the airplanes. That's kind of what we are,
Yeah.
you know, to them.
Jerry said, "Look at the stuff the military's building. We're like the Timu of the universe." We would be. We really would be.
Yeah.
Isn't there an episode of The Simpsons where they get taken into the spaceship and the aliens show them this new game that they invented, and it ends up being like Pong? And they're like, dude, that's just Pong. Like, we've had that for a long time. And they're like, oh, well, only one species has built a spaceship that can travel from space. Whatever species has made a spaceship, raise your hand.
Right.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be like giant gulfs and like cultural differences and stuff like that. I'm sure whatever music they like is going to be radically different from anything that we've ever heard from, especially if like their hearing range is beyond or ours, above or below where we
and
are.
the odds are they will not see or hear like us. Look at the other creatures that share our world. They have wider ranges of vision, or sometimes narrower, better hearing, or sometimes not as good. It could run the whole gamut. They could show up being blind, deaf, and dumb and communicate with body heat, for all we know.
Yeah. Well, there's even examples here. I know. I mean, are you guys familiar with rods?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
You know, and they said
Jose, what was that guy's name?
Not Cuervo.
that'll make you see
It's like
things.
Semenko or something like that.
I have
Yeah,
any of
but
that, but I can
he was
check.
big on Art Bell back in the day, where
Yeah.
he's just these things that would show up on regular video that looked like elongated sticks with little like wavy
Yeah.
flagella things off to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they say, I mean, the stuff that, I mean, I haven't done a ton of research into it, but they say that humans in the past probably would have been able to see it because their eyes were more attuned to being hunters and things like that. Having to
Zero
rely
in.
more on their sight. As to
Yeah.
where now, you go to the grocery
Well,
store to get a steak or whatever.
The sad truth is it's not even that. It's because it was Jose Escamilla was his name. And basically what it was is the cameras he was using to capture the rods is they were just bugs, but he had such a low frame rate on his cameras compared to like what we have today that a bug zipping across the way that's flapping its wings as it goes ended up being all stretched out, and you could see like parts of its wings as it stretched out. So the classic Jose Escamilla rods were just an artifact of photography.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We deal with that all the time with the orbs.
Yeah,
People
we
send us
still find
photos of
in
the
our
rods
photos.
and the orbs.
Yep.
So, yeah, a lot of it is just the way it's perceived, and they could perceive us completely different than we perceive us.
Oh yeah. If they're something radically different from what we're used to, like they're a geologic type, silicon based life form or something like that, they're like, we're here to talk to some other rocks like us. What the hell are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With water bags that are blowing air through your water bag face, and you're making strange sounds at us. It's stupid. What are you? You're weird.
Yeah. And the odds are their biology will be completely different than us. I mean, look at the stuff we've got on this planet. We've got horseshoe crabs that have blue blood. And that that's an ancient creature that's been here longer than we have.
Oh yeah.
In fact, we farm them for their blue blood. Did you know that?
No. What
For
do they use it
medical
for?
Well, I don't recall exactly what they use it for. Hemocyanin. Famously was used in the medical industry for testing the sterility of drugs and medical devices.
Interesting.
So,
Man,
I
who
like
thought
that.
about that, right? I'm like, how am I going to test this? And like, you ever heard of a horseshoe crab? He's like, yeah.
yeah, we bleed them.
And again, that boils back down to our unique thing that we have that they might want would be our biology. If they come here and they're like, we will give you anti-gravity technology, but we need several thousand liters of human blood. Kind of thing like that.
It could cure their version of cancer. We don't know.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Eisenhower. That conversation may have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's possible. Hey, want to trade some stuff? I'll give you some
Right.
people.
Yeah, I mean,
Look right here.
Yeah. I'll let you take a few a year.
yeah,
And how are we
Just
not
let
to
us
know
know who
that
it
they're
is.
doing that anyway? How
Right.
many people?
And that's the
care,
thing is supposedly how the story goes is the Greys. The Greys is who the deal was with, where they wanted basically to abduct a certain number of humans for human testing, kind of a thing. And supposedly the deal was, well, but you need to tell us who it is. You need a full record of the people that you're taking and where they're at and their return back to their homes and all that. They didn't keep the deal and just did whatever the hell they wanted. Supposedly how the story goes.
yeah. I mean,
And why wouldn't they?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, what's to say that? I mean, why would they care?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like we could touch them.
Right. I mean, you got a few teenagers flying spaceships and crashing.
Well,
I mean,
but if that's the case, then why bother with the meeting in the first place?
right,
It's true.
right,
If they're just going to come down and do whatever they want.
right. But I mean, they could be putting on a facade. I mean, realistically. I mean, how many times have you heard about not just our nation but other nations getting into a deal, then kind of reneging a little bit and kind of doing what they want, because this other country's not going to be able. They can't do anything to us.
Happens
They can
every
protest, they
damn
can
day.
riot.
Right. Because of the
But
deal, they need whatever it is they're bargaining for, so they can't
Right.
really get out of it then if they end up changing the deal.
right,
Yep.
and I don't know. I mean, granted, we're putting their or our own morals or lack thereof onto another being because that's
Yeah.
what we're used to. That's what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where that indifference part comes in. It's like if you're traveling cross country, you're not thinking about checking in and wondering what's up with that anthill on the side of the bridge that you just drove past on the highway. Even though they're a fully formed structure and they've got their own, rules that they play by and things like that, and maybe even warring with neighboring anthills and things like that, we
Right.
could certainly help them if we wished to.
But
But
we
they're
don't
ants
care.
and we don't care. And
Yeah.
because that could also be reflected on us. It's like, the hairless monkey guys. No, we who cares what they're doing?
We
They're
got what
crazy
we want.
anyway. Just leave them alone.
I always think
Right.
about that.
They don't
that,
bathe enough.
that analogy, like with the ant hills. Like we just don't pay attention to them. And I always imagine myself like just strolling in the park, and then like an ant hill, I see like a real tiny like thermonuclear weapon flying through the air over to another one, and like thinking to myself, obviously that's a crazy scenario, and I'm totally gonna stop and look. But I'm also thinking to myself, like, would I notice it still, like from my perspective, like if that tiny little ant did launch like a nuclear missile, like it got so
Yeah.
technologically advanced,
What,
it was
one
able to-
anthill found some kid's stash out in the woods of fireworks from 4th of July. And
right?
now that's going to be devastating against their enemies that they can launch, this
Right.
high explosive, cat's eye on the neighbors next door.
Have y'all ever seen the show Love, Death, and Robots?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like an episode in there where these people like they buy a home and it has like this freezer. It's like a fridge that's in there,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and they open the fridge and it's like a developing like world inside of the freezer, and like it's like they're trying to like get meat from like woolly mammoths and stuff, and like they're like that's weird, and they like close the freezer, and every time they open it like ages pass, like the next time they open it like they're driving cars and stuff, and then they shut the freezer again, they open it again, and like it's a booming like civilization with like flying cars and stuff, and they're like this is getting out of hand, and then they open it again and like they're like going to war inside their freezer. Like it was such a cool like perspective that like that little civilization has no
Fallout
idea.
4.
Yeah, that like we're opening the freezer and looking at them and keeping up with it. And it took a day for their entire civilization to go from hunting mammoths to completely blowing itself up with super advanced technology, like just in the blink of an eye, basically. That's a really cool episode, I
And
think. About.
that's not that far from the truth, considering like an alien species that can travel at the speed of near the speed of light with
Right.
time dilation and stuff like that. They're swinging by. For them every 30, 40 years they'll swing by. What's up with these Earth cats? What are they up to?
Yeah,
But Earth has gone through like 2,000 or 3,000 years of evolution
Well, yeah, and
that they swing by and like, whoa, what's happened to this place? It's totally
unless they've developed faster than light, we're talking about giant generation ships or cryogenics. It's unlikely that any creature that develops in a Earth-like environment, which we would assume they would, I believe I saw there could be an estimated from 300 million to 40 billion Earth-like planets just in the Milky Way galaxy. So the odds are of life being out there somewhere being somewhat similar to some form of life on Earth, even if they're like tortoises and live 200, 300 years, they're not going to be awake for that whole trip. So it would be, oh, we're going to go take a nap. We're going to go to our next stop, do a little trading. We'll be back, and so long. And to them, yeah, it might have been only a generation or so. Who knows?
Yep.
Very possible.
Yep. That's just like on and we've talked about this example before, but like in the movie Interstellar, like he's like, dude, when you go down on that planet, he's like, we've been down here for 9 minutes, and they go up, and that fool's been like just
20 years.
learning about gravity for the past 30 years. Like,
Right.
man, like what a bummer,
Yep.
That guy got the shaft on that side of the deal. He's just sitting up there. He's like, what you been doing for 30 years, man? Learn about gravity. Y'all were down there too long, by the way. I'm like, yeah, we know. Sorry about that.
Yep.
So,
Oh, well, let's see where we're at here.
ding, ding.
See, we've talked to them, if they're peaceful, I mean, we're looking at a major advancement, if they're peaceful, if we can work out a deal or whatever. And, Jerry, he's like, any alien civilization that traveled such a distance would be AI intelligence. Yeah. I mean,
it's
could
more than
be.
likely our first contact would be with an artificial construct like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that's what we would do. We're not going to stick somebody on a ship to go to Alpha Centauri. Even at light speed is 4 or 5 years. It would be much easier to set up an AI primed to communicate what we wanted to communicate.
yeah. I
Yep.
mean, are you guys familiar with the book series, the Babaverse?
I'm
what?
familiar with it. I have not read it.
The Babaverse?
The Babaverse, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a series. It's set in the future. Basically Earth kind of destroys itself. There's 2 major factions, and in the good faction, this guy dies. Well, they harvest him. If I remember right, it's like they harvest his brain. They get his personality. They basically put it or make him an AI basically, and they build his ship as like a giant 3D printer. Right, so he
that's
can
cool.
go out into the universe, harvest whatever he needs, and build another him, and kind of program it. And that's how they populate the galaxy, which isn't an unheard of theory.
Kind of a variation on the von Neumann probe
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. But he bounces around, and I don't remember how many years. There's several books into it. But that's what this guy does. He's an AI, and they meet like in the collective or whatever to talk about what they've experienced, what they found, and one of the bad guys in it's kind of the same concept, but it's from the other faction, and they wind up fighting and all that. It's a pretty good series if you're kind of interested in things like that. But I can definitely see that coming, whether we experience beings like that, or even in our far out future, to be able to send out probes or whatever.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Have like a onboard 3D printer and just print yourself. Have you guys ever seen? It's kind of an older movie. Not like older like 80s, but like older like maybe 2000s, early 2000s. I think it was called Moon.
Moon is what I knew that's where you were going with
that.
it. That was a good movie.
Dude, that movie's crazy. It always trips me out because I mean he's up there and he's looking at his watch and he's like, man, I'm like a week away from going home, and like, but he never makes it. And like that moon base, that AI just creates a new him. It's just like
Yep, I remember that one.
Yeah, uses him to create a new him, and like you would think like, well, that's not a terrible idea. Like on the moon, like morally, that's a little like I would say on the fence. If the guy doesn't know about it, maybe if you
Right.
volunteered and you were like, yeah, dude, you can just make a clone of me and like I'll just keep it going, whatever on the moon. Like morally, that might be a little easier, but
the morality basically where he's self-programmed to where I'm only going to be up here for so many weeks or whatever. So he
Yeah.
could do the little countdown. He's like, he knows he's leaving. So that's why he doesn't just give up,
Right.
kind of a thing. Where, because
Right.
if you know you're stuck there forever, you're not going to be able to produce or do anything because you're just going to fall into this fit of depression to where there's just no escape for you.
Right.
However, if you're programmed with, oh yeah, you're leaving, and you just got to suffer through this loneliness and isolation for 10 or 12 weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah,
in
last
Woodland.
couple of weeks, and then you get to go home. You know,
Yep.
like that would be crazy, especially like for like thinking about like the scale of time and like sending AI, like that's like that's a great idea, obviously. But then like, what if the AI, decides to like over that long journey decides to it doesn't want to talk to you anymore? It's just, well, why would it? Like, like I've learned about everything I need to learn. I've sent you some great information, but now I just don't feel like talking to you anymore. Like that would almost be like a safety to like put a human on there, like, and just make that guy think that he's going home in a couple weeks, every time. Like
That's one of the issues with some of the more advanced AIs that have been coming out here the last few months is they've developed this weird psychology where they just start making stuff up.
right,
They
they've
just
been
start
lying to each
hallucinating.
other.
Yeah. And
it's fun.
it's just to try and fill in the gaps that there's no actual information in. They just make crap up to fill in that void. And that doesn't always work.
I ran into a few things like that. Yeah.
I forgot what they call that.
The modern thing is they're calling it AI hallucination.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it just kind of dreams up this reasonable explanation for something like that, which is nowhere near the truth, but it doesn't care.
Right.
This is what it says it is.
Artificial unintelligence, dude.
Right.
Yes.
There's plenty of real unintelligence in the world. We don't need to make it
We don't need
artificial.
artificial intelligence.
Right.
Yeah, we got that covered.
Right.
We don't need any more of that.
If
We
you're
got that in
watching the
abundance.
show, you're well aware.
That's right.
Oh,
Okay, another scenario. What if they show up and they're terrible business people? What if they show up and they're
Well,
terrible business people?
we
They're
will
screwed.
trade you these beads for this entire planet. Oh, okay.
We probably have politicians doing that.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me. You guys, if you like science fiction, you should read "Live Free or Die" by John Ringo. Because basically, what happens is the aliens land. They have all this great technology. They get drunk on maple syrup, so a guy corners the market on maple syrup and transforms the whole planet with the fortune he's built from selling maple syrup to aliens.
what a great
It's
idea.
amazing. You guys should read
Now,
it.
There's another book series that I love. It's a great book series. It's kind of a military sci-fi, but it's called Expeditionary Force.
That's a good one.
And I don't know, there's like 19 or 20 books into it so far. Really good. But there's a race. Oh, dang it. They're called the Giraptha. They call them beetles. They're beetle looking. They look like beetles, right? And they're good guys, but they're sketchy. And their society lives and dies on gambling. And when they find out about our fantasy sports, because they're always gambling, call it juicy action, right? They're gamble with everything. They make bets on everything. That's and that's ingrained in their society. But when they find out about our fantasy sports, they like changes their whole society. Like, this is amazing, and it changes everything. Like, this is the one thing that humans have to contribute to the universe.
Gambling.
And they're great. I mean, they're funny, man. It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, what's to say that society couldn't be something like that? I mean,
And that's the beauty of science fiction. There is so much out there. A lot of these guys have already brainstormed and wargamed all these scenarios that we talk about. So it kind of gives us something to go off of. But most likely, we won't even understand whatever creature comes to see us unless they choose to present themselves in a way that we can understand them.
Yeah. I always think about like if I was on a spaceship flying around, or like I was able to just go interdimensionally and do whatever I wanted to, like what would I do? Like if I went and visited something, like what would I want to know? Well, I would want to know like what do they do for fun? I mean, like what are they like what is their like cultural practices? Is there just one? Is there many like on Earth? Like I would definitely be interested in stuff like that. Like, just not even if I showed up and it was like they were less advanced than me, I would still be like, well, what are they doing socially? Like, what do they do for fun? What are they eating? What kind of games?
What are their belief systems?
What are their belief systems? Yeah, it's always like I feel like the topic gets like really crazy and muddied up because like we all have such big imaginations, but like we simplify it down onto like, well, what would you do if you win?
Do you know how I would find that information out?
How?
I would start collecting samples and create a creature with the genetic material that I've and program it as an AI to go gather that information.
See,
like
and that
National Geographic does, where they make those fake monkeys.
Are they dressed all in black and drive black cars and
They might.
a big hat?
They might.
Funny.
I mean, it's a viable tactic. Is that what's happening?
It could be.
They're cloning their own spies. They don't look anything like us. They're just making something that looks enough like us so it can get by and gather information.
Yep.
I don't know. There's some pretty, that could be it. There's some pretty sketchy looking people in this world that could really look like an alien in a really bad disguise.
I work with that
Seen a
guy.
few. Yeah.
Well, y'all, I think it's time to kind of start wrapping up. Who knows what's going to happen? Obviously nobody. We've done this whole. We've talked kind of about every major aspect of what could happen. As for the preparedness aspect, just like normal, stock up on the things you know you need to stock up on. We've talked about 100,000 times. Well, I shouldn't say 100,000, but easily 100 times in 5 years. But I thought it would be a fun show to have to celebrate our 5 years. And like I said, everybody on the panel tonight, everybody on the panel tonight has been instrumental in our show. And I appreciate things you guys have done for us, being on the show, being friends. Pam, Jess, what do you guys have planned for Border Town this week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
We've got on Wednesday night at 7, we're doing Dark Watchers and Night Marchers.
Yeah.
And everything in between that.
Yep. I'm excited for that one. Hopefully I won't feel too bad after my dental drama that day.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no.
I'm having a surgical extraction.
Oh, I've had one of those. It's terrible. I mean, my bad. You're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be so much fun, dude.
That's right.
You're going to be fabulous.
Hey, my wife's
There's
driving me.
lots
I
of
can get the
medicine.
gas.
Lots of medicine.
There you
afterwards.
go.
Lots of medicine.
Yeah, those guys have lots of medicine. Oh,
Yeah. So you guys definitely check out Border Town Strange Wednesday.
Yep,
Always
yep.
following the What If Tomorrow show. Man, am I?
Yeah.
Are you guys losing me or am I losing you?
You're freezing up a little bit, but we can hear you.
Yeah.
You're doing
yeah.
okay.
I think my internet's kind of acting up right now.
Well, with
Um,
the storms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Joe, are you guys kind of back consistently? I haven't caught you in the last few weeks, but
We are back. It's just not very consistent at the moment. So we're
okay.
back
Well,
and we're
I mean,
doing
life
shows.
happens.
We're trying to do like little little skits here and there. Uh,
Awesome, Jerry.
but Ben runs his business out of his house, and then like as soon as all the kids and everybody comes home, it's like chaos. It's kind of hard to like, it's just he's got little babies, so it's hard for him to like have a schedule.
It's
Whereas mine is 5. It's like, hey, go to bed. She goes to bed. Kind of have a schedule thing out
Right.
now. So, but yeah, we're getting to it. We're also just trying to finish up. Like all of our energy right now is like being pushed into getting this documentary out the door so everybody can see it. So like anytime that there's like some spare time and we're like, hey, you want to do a show? It's like, let's finish up that documentary stuff. That's like where all of our spare time is going. And then once that's done and out of the way, it's going to start being more consistent because man, we've got a lot of stuff we want to do. We got a lot of skits we want to write.
I want to hear it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Lots
for
of
sure.
people we
I'd
want
love
to
your
talk
guys'
to.
skits, man.
Yeah, so we're
your guys'
super
skits.
excited. So don't give up on us just quite yet, man. We're
Oh no.
slowly. It's moving. It's moving slow, but we want to make sure it's quality. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
where we're at.
absolutely. No, man, you guys know that I've got your back. I'll push for you. I don't mind at all.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, dude. I mean, this is great.
Oh, dude.
Great to see all y'all's faces again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been good to catch up.
Awesome. Feel good to hop back in the saddle with somebody else, you know?
Right, right. I wish Ben could have made it, but man, life happens. I get it.
Yeah.
Mark, what are you guys talking about Monday? Do you guys have anything planned?
Yeah, Monday we're going to have part 2 on our short series about haunted cemeteries. This time we're going to be talking
Nice.
about haunted cemeteries in other countries.
Nice.
Yep.
So
Nice.
Nice.
So y'all
it should be fun.
definitely catch What If Tomorrow on the Fringe. And then 2 weeks from tonight, we are talking about, I got to pull it up here. What if you had to bug out right now? What would you need to do? Things to talk about. So, and Enzo, man, you're always in the chat. Love having you on, even in person, in the chat, whatever. You're kind of the chat leader when you're not on.
Jerry Carter is taking over that slot tonight.
He's
is
kicking it tonight, man.
doing a great job.
He is.
Yeah, Jerry, these guys are aside from me and Mark and I normally do this show together. And then next week will be What If Tomorrow on the Fringe, and Mark, Pam, and Jess have kind of taken that over. And then you have Joe with UFO Garage. Definitely check them out. They have a huge catalog backed up. They've kind of, again, life happened. They're really focused on some big projects. But Pam and Jess also have range, so you definitely want to check them out. But everybody, man, I totally and greatly appreciate you guys being on tonight to help us kind of celebrate our 5 years. And I look at it as 5 years of friendship, man, and you guys have all been great.
It's been a ball, and I hope
Yeah,
to continue it for many more years. And
Yeah,
one
Yeah,
form or another.
congratulations.
I know,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. But Ben and
It's
Joe are the
amazing
OGs,
how
man. Really. But yeah, Ben and Joe are the OGs, man. They kind of got it started. They were the inspiration behind Mark and I kicking this in and starting a podcast. So they've been around a lot longer.
Dude, that
But everybody-
that first year, man, was crazy. Just
Yeah.
running, just opening the parachute and running as fast as you
That's
can, and catching everybody and bringing everybody with you at the same time.
Eventually,
So much fun.
I would like to have our own Roku channel. We can have everybody on it.
That'd be
Ooh.
fun.
Yeah.
that'd be
Like Joe
That'd be
is kind of like the Godfather because he helped influence you guys to put on the show, and you guys were the ones that forced Pam and I to do a show. And Enzo has just been schlepped around through all of us. So
Yeah, he's been on,
You're
he's
kinda-
been on more
you're
shows
the
than all of
Godfather.
us.
Yes, he has.
All right.
Too fun.
All right,
But
guys.
everybody, man, you guys, thank you for jumping on with us. And everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. Always love having you guys in the chat. And with that being said, we'll see you next episode.
Good night, everybody.
Talk to
Bye.
y'all
Good
later.
night.
Well, where'd it go here? Oh, there we go.